I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, and welcome to our podcast, For the Health of It. Remember to subscribe to our podcasts, and I'll help you naturally get well and stay well.
The information presented on this program is not intended to take the place of your personal physician's advice, and it is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Discuss this information with your own physician or healthcare provider to determine what is right for you.
Are you suffering needlessly? Dr. Joe can give you advice on how to naturally get well and stay well. Dr. Joe Esposito.
What we're talking about now is mistakes that even healthy people make. Again, I've been in practice a long time. I've seen thousands, probably tens of thousands of patients, and with radio and television, we've reached probably millions of patients, which is really kind of cool. I think that's kind of neat. But people come to me all the time and say, Dr. Joe, I am so healthy. And then they tell me about their life. And I say, all right, you might be healthier than most people, but you're certainly not healthy. So let's talk about some of the mistakes that you might be making, even if you're living a good life. One biggie, not getting enough sleep. Now, sleep is a problem for many reasons. Number one, stress. We talked about that earlier. We talked about stress from the pandemic. That can adversely affect your sleep. Physical stress, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling. That's a stress. Digestive issues, heartburn, acid reflux, burping, gas, bloating, that's a stress. So when you're under stress, we talked about that earlier, the body produces a hormone called cortisol. And cortisol is released from the adrenal glands, goes into the blood system, and cortisol gives you energy. The body thinks it's under attack, so it's always alert and awake. Long-term high cortisol levels are extremely dangerous, can lead to almost every disease known to man or contribute to, and one of it being not getting enough sleep. When you're stressed out, you don't sleep, do you? Okay? So we got to look at the stresses, chemical, physical, and mental stress, and we got to address those three factors. Physical stress, pretty easy in most cases. Most cases of physical stress respond extremely well to chiropractic care. And we have chiropractic offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. So that's in the Atlanta area. So if you're outside the Atlanta area, I know this is a podcast. This podcast goes all over the world. We'd love to have you come in and visit us. Atlanta's the world's busiest airport, and we have a lot of people fly in from all over the world to see us as patients. But chiropractic care is the no-brainer in my world, and if there was a better way to do it, I'd be doing it. I'm a patient too. So chiropractic care for physical stress, digestive issues, you can go to our website, drjoe.com, type in the word digestion. Many times, acid reflux, heartburn, gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation is a physical problem. The stomach is pushing up into the diaphragm. The valves in the digestive system are spasmed. The pinched nerves going to the organs need to be corrected. And many times, that's an easy fix. And the biggest complaint I get, why didn't I do this sooner? Dr. Joe, why did I wait so long to get treated? I don't know. You know who we are. I've been in the same building for almost 37 years. Same place. Haven't gone anywhere. So you can come see us. We'd love to see you. Offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. If you drink too much water, you have to get up and pee. I hear this a lot, especially as people get older. My rule is I stop drinking a lot of fluids around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll have a sip here and there, but I stop my big fluid intake because then by the time I go to bed at 10 o'clock, I can sleep through the night. So pain is a big issue. Too much water is a big issue. Cortisol is a big issue. So go to our website, listen to the show we did on sleep. Just type sleep into search bar, and that'll give you a lot of good information there. Other mistakes that healthy people make. They don't drink enough water. Now, there's a part of your brain that controls hunger and a part of your brain that controls thirst when you're a baby. As you become a toddler, those two parts of the brain grow together. And so what happens is, I think it's the hypothalamus, that you have trouble distinguishing between hunger and thirst. Many, many times when you're hungry, you're not hungry. You're thirsty. And all you got to do is drink some water, and you're going to eat a whole lot less food. You're going to save a whole lot of money, and it's going to hydrate the body. So one of the big mistakes I see is people wait till they're thirsty to start drinking. Not a good idea, because as we get older, our thirst sensation changes. It lessens. And so you're not going to feel as thirsty as you used to when you were an infant, which you don't remember. And so you wait too long. And then if you are thirsty, you reach for something like a refreshing soda. Wrong answer. Especially things with caffeine, diuretics, coffee, tea, soda, chocolates, chocolate milk, hot cocoa. These are diuretics. They make you pee more. So drink water. It really is the thing to do. I like to drink teas. I drink a ton of teas. I have ginger tea in the morning. I have slippery elm tea. Like right now, when I'm on the air, I'll have slippery elm tea with me in the studio because slippery elm tea helps coat my throat. And so I can talk longer. Hey, lucky you. But there's all different types of tea. I don't do anything with caffeine because it gives me a headache. So that's a big mistake that healthy people make. They're eating right, but they're just not drinking enough fluids. Now, if you're eating a really healthy diet with things like salads and celery and fruits and fresh vegetables, that's a good source of water too. But a lot of people aren't doing that. So make sure you're drinking enough water. My rule for water is this. When you pee, it should be clear. If it's cloudy, if it smells, now if you just ate asparagus, it might smell. If you took Dr. Joe's B complex, that might give your pee a yellow color. But generally speaking, the pee should be clear and shouldn't have a big odor to it. And if you want to, pee in a glass cup and look at it. Hold it up to the light. It should be relatively clear. You might see a couple of things floating around in there. Not a big deal. But if it looks like murky, we got a problem there. A lot of times I'll look at on the side of the road, truck drivers, a lot of people they'll pee in a bottle and they'll throw it out the side of the road. So if you're driving along the side of the road, you see a yellow container on the side of the road, that's probably somebody peed in a bottle and threw it out. But I look at that sometimes and I think, my God, man, what is that person eating or drinking or not drinking? Because the urine is so dark, scary, almost brown. That's a real serious issue, folks. So if you have dark-colored urine and brown urine, blood in the urine, these are pretty serious issues. You've got to be drinking a lot more water, and you might want to get that checked too. With the pandemic, we're doing a lot of home stuff. I'm doing broadcasts from my office now. We sit too much. There was a time when you got in your car, you drove to work, you got out of your car, you walked around, you got a little more activity. But right now, we're setting up our meetings, Skype calls and meetings calls and whatever it is, and we're sitting all day, every day, same desk. Not a good idea. You got to get up and move. So what I tell you to do is this. A, if you drink a lot of water, solves that problem. You got to get up and pee. And pee at the furthest bathroom you can go to. So I know if you're in an office building or something like that, and again, those days may be gone. I don't know. Go to the furthest bathroom you can because then you're getting exercise walking as well, and that gets you up. Or set your timer on your computer. Every half hour, every hour, the timer goes off. You got to get up and walk for 30 seconds. Got to do it. And what I teach people to do is something called a cross crawl. Now, the cross crawl is this coolest little exercise that you have to walk anyway. Might as well walk this way. When you're walking or just marching in place, bring your right elbow to your left knee and your left elbow to your right knee. Right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. I do this before every show. Before I do a show, before I give a lecture, back in the old days, I traveled a lot. Companies would hire me to come in and do wellness workshops for them. I would do a cross crawl before every show. And when I first started working at the stations, the people in the booth, the operators would look at me and go, what the heck is he doing? And I explained to them, this is a great way to get your energy up, get your brain clear. And so I taught everybody to cross crawl. And one of my producers, Ahmad, he's my board operator for my live Sunday night show that I do. It's funny because I'll be in the studio and I'll look over and he's doing his cross crawl. And he kind of laughs at me and I laugh at him. But he realized that it's a simple, easy exercise just to reboot your body and get your energy up. 30 seconds of cross crawl. If you do that every hour, you'll be amazed how much more in shape you become, how much better your brain works, how much more energy you'll have. So healthy people might be great, might be doing a lot of things right, but you can't go to the gym for an hour and then sit for the rest of the day. You're wasting your time. I'd rather you do a cross crawl every hour for 30 seconds than go to the gym because you're getting a lot more activity throughout the day. It's a much better choice. So sitting too much is a big issue that healthy people do. And I don't want you to do that too much. If you are healthy, unhealthy people do it too. This was interesting. If you brush your teeth right after eating, that's kind of interesting. You want to wait an hour to brush your teeth after a meal or drink, especially if it's something acidic. Now, as an Italian, of course, tomatoes for me. But if you're doing anything acidic, vinegars, oranges, because you want to not brush that acid into your teeth. So if you're going to brush your teeth right after eating, at least rinse out your mouth. Get some water, swish it out, kind of swish it in between your teeth. Get that acid off the teeth because you don't want to drive the acid into the teeth. That can be really bad. Other things that healthy people, supposedly healthy people, are mistakes that they're making. Number one, they're not taking their supplements. I think this is probably the biggest one. I said sleep was number one, but it's probably the biggest one. I don't know how to stress the importance of getting the proper nutrition in your body. Most people think I'm 20 years younger than I am. I had a patient come in the other day, and she brought her son in, and he was 11 and he's 30 now, so however long that was there, so 21 years ago. And she looked at me, and I didn't recognize her, and she said, Dr. Joe? I said, yeah. She goes, you haven't changed. You look exactly the same as you did when I brought my son to come see you. And I said, well, I guess that's a good thing, right? One of my secrets, and probably the biggest secret I have, is I take supplements every day. Super Green's an essential source. Those are the minimum supplements that I recommend. I can't imagine going a day without Super Green's an essential source. Now, they're 2 powders. They taste great. They're on the website, drjoe.com. I take a scoop of each. I shake it up in a jar with some coconut milk or almond milk. And the first thing I do in the morning, I have my Super Green's an essential source. You can throw a frozen banana in there, some frozen berries if you want to. But I can't imagine a day going by without at least that. Minimum supplements every day. Now, in the winter, I take vitamin D. In the summer, I get out a lot. I go for a walk a lot. At my office, I'll go for a walk at my lunchtime. I do a lot of gardening and yard work. So if I'm out in the sun 20 minutes, 3, 4, 5 times a week, I'm getting enough vitamin D. I don't shower right after either because the vitamin D forms on your skin. UVB rays interact with cholesterol, and that creates a form of vitamin D, which eventually gets absorbed into the body. If you shower right away, you're washing it off. That's why when you're out in the sun, you kind of get greasy feeling. That's the vitamin D forming. So give it an hour or two. The longer you wait, the better, actually. But supplements are so key. I take digestive enzymes whenever I eat a cooked meal. If I eat a raw meal, no big deal. But if I eat a cooked meal, I take Dr. Joe's digestive enzymes. Why? I'm old. My enzyme levels are plummeting. And so I got to boost them back up. Simple, easy, quick, cheap fix. Keep those enzyme levels high. That's the secret to staying young. Absolutely. So supplements are all the supplements we talk about are on the website, drjoe.com. If you have specific questions, you can send me a question through the website, drjoe.com. A little bot that pops up, and you can say, hey, Dr. Joe, I got a question about this. And either me, Garrett, or Joe will get back to you on that as well. But any health questions, we're more than happy to answer them for you. Another issue that healthy people are not doing, and I'm catching a lot of people doing this, if you're wearing a mask, you're not washing your mask. Because you breathe into that thing, and your viruses, germs, bacteria, whatever else you got in your body, you're getting into the mask, and then you don't wash it. And they say wash it in cold water. No, wash it in hot water. You may burn through masks quicker, but you've got a lot of viruses, germs, and bacteria. Wash it in hot water. Same thing with your underwear. I know it's kind of off topic, but wash your underwear in hot water. Because a lot of viruses, germs, and bacteria, you got to kill them. So make sure you're using hot water and wash the masks every day. Get a fresh mask every day. You can buy them now cheap. We have a really cool one on the website, actually. It says, I'm a Joe-It-All. And the Joe-It-Alls is our private little group we have, the Dr. Joe fan club, basically. It's on the web. It's on Facebook, Joe-It-Alls. I want you to join, Joe-It-Alls. I want you to join us because we ask you guys questions. Sometimes my bosses at the station will come to me and say, hey, listen, we need a topic, something new and fresh. What are people looking for? Help us out with ideas. So I'll go to the Joe-It-Alls, or Garrett will, and say, hey, guys, what's hot right now? What do you want Dr. Joe to do a show on? So we give discounts to Joe-It-Alls sometimes, but the masks, I'm a Joe-It-All, are available. And I have to say, they're amazing. They're so easy to breathe in. They're so easy to talk with. They have a metal around your nose. I've tried a lot of different masks. Not only is it my favorite mask, because it says I'm a Joe-It-All, but they're on the website, drjoe.com. I think they work the best, too. So anyway, so wash your masks in hot water. I think that's really important. That's a mistake that healthy people make. If you're cleaning your ears, my father used to use cotton swabs all the time. My father was deaf, so he wore a hearing aid. Really didn't do a whole lot of good. He could only hear a little increase in sound, basically. But his ears would itch from wearing a hearing aid, so he'd get in there with a cotton swab and dig around, and I would do it with a cotton swab because I watched my father. We become our parents. That's one of the worst things you can do because what you're doing is driving the wax deeper into the ear, and you need earwax. When you chew, you naturally affect the earwax, and it pushes the earwax forward. So you can clean the outer part of your ears, like take a shower, take a washcloth, clean it out, dry your ears, only as far as your finger can get in there with a washcloth. Never stick anything in your ears because it can cause some real serious problems and infections. And we don't want you getting infections. That's bad. So be careful with that. So we're talking today about mistakes that healthy people make. And you think, well, I want to keep my ears clean because I want to look pretty. I don't want any wax in my ears. just clean the outside. You're not going to get globs of wax if you're cleaning the outside. But be careful with your ears because they're very close to the brain. And ear infections can affect the brain. Now, as a chiropractor, an orthopedist, a pain management expert, a nutritionist, I care about your health. And these might be things that you're doing you've never even thought about that are not good for your health. If you have a cut, don't clean it with peroxide or alcohol. Because we've all done this. I've done it anyway. You got to cut, you pour peroxide and you see it bubbling, right? Oh my gosh, it's killing all the viruses, germs, and bacteria. That's horrible because it's destroying, it's eating away the cells in that area in your skin, causing more damage. Soap and water, safest thing. I use something called Castile soap. I use liquid. There's also bar soap. Castile soap is a very pure soap with no chemicals added. Now, they have different fragrances. They have peppermint, they have rose, they have unscented. I love Castile soap. It's everywhere in my house. I use it for showers. I use it for washing my hands. It's everywhere. I have it in the office. So Castile soap is my favorite. Just use some Castile soap in warm water and rinse things out. Don't go pouring stuff in there. That can be really dangerous. When I was a kid, my mother used to put mercurochrome on any cuts. It was red. Anybody old enough to remember mercurochrome? What was the problem with that? Mercurochrome, mercury. It had mercury in it. And so mercury is a highly toxic heavy metal. We were putting it in our body through a cut. How insane and stupid was that? But once again, mom didn't know. Famous man once said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." So many of the things that you're doing in your healthcare, you're doing because, well, somebody said it was okay, or you think it might be okay, but it's not. So people say, "Dr. Joe, I'm so sorry I did this." No, you're forgiven. I just want to get you well. Same thing with pain. Many times people take pain medication. I am not against pain medication. If I'm in pain, I want medication. I was doing this strange workout a while ago with actually a former NHL player. I had a picture of him in my room when I was a kid, and eventually it turned out we started working out together, and it was extremely heavy weights. Just doing really small movements with extremely heavy weights. And I have a fracture in my low back. And when I did it, I couldn't move the next day. I physically couldn't get out of bed. I had to call one of my friends, one of the medical doctors we work with. It was on a Saturday. She had to call in a prescription for me, and somebody had to go pick it up for me and bring it to me so I could physically move. I couldn't move. That's how bad it was. So medicine was wonderful at that point. But then I got adjusted to find out why. And when I was working out, I pushed the bones in my low back out of place. So I am not against medication. But I want you to get to the cause of your healthcare problems, not just treat the symptoms. And that's a big mistake that supposedly healthy people make. They rely on medications all the time. Medications, I feel, should be for emergency use unless it's life-threatening. You're a type 1 diabetic, you need medication. You had your thyroid removed, you need medication. Absolutely. I mean, I'm not insane, I'm not stupid. But when it comes to pain management, chiropractic is the most effective, least expensive treatment for pain management. We also have in our office PRP. We have a medical division. PRP is we take your platelets, your own blood, spin it down, and take the growth factors called the platelets out and re-inject them back into the area that's injured. Carpal tunnel syndrome, neck pain, shoulder pain, knee arthritis, spinal arthritis. I've had it done in my spine. Works great. So you can do PRP treatments, and it does a lot of different things. You can have it for men and women that have erectile dysfunction or women have bladder leakage. We can put the PRP right into the body, and it stimulates new cell growth. Hair growth, you can have it put in your hair. So PRP is an amazing natural form of getting the body healing better. So if you have pain, you might want to come see us. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb in the Atlanta area. Go to our website, drjoe.com. Just click right on the homepage. You see our offices. We have a tab that says services. Click on the services tab. You'll see all the services we offer. We have a weight loss protocol. We have PRP. We have medical, trigger point injections, chiropractic care, digestive issues, nutrition, of course. So if you want to get well, if you're serious, go to our website, drjoe.com. The first visit used to be $375. We've reduced the cost to $199. We're going to stop that soon. Trust me. That's an exam, x-rays, consultation, first chiropractic adjustment, going over the x-rays on your next visit, nutrition evaluation. The nutrition evaluation alone is $150. And we accept insurances, Medicare, and here's the thing with car accidents. If you've ever been in a car accident, if the car was damaged, you were damaged. In my experience, that's 100% of the time. So if you're in an accident, you need to get to us immediately. The quicker you get to us, the easier it's going to be. Because the insurance companies, one of the games they play is they say, you didn't go to the doctor right away, you weren't hurt. Well, maybe I couldn't get out of bed. Maybe my car was damaged, I couldn't drive there. Insurance companies do everything they can. It's a game to try to not pay the bills. That's their job, not pay the bills. Your job is to remove all barriers so that they don't have an argument. And when you do that, the adjusters go, you know what? This person did everything right. We have no argument. I think this is a reasonable case. So if you're ever in a car accident, come see us right away. But book your appointments right now, drjoe.com. And we want to get you treated as quickly as possible. Not just for car accidents, any health issues. The quicker we get to it, the easier it's going to be to treat. Other things that we do, healthy people do. They're out in the sun too much. I'm outside, Dr. Joe. I work out. I kayak. I canoe. I love kayaking, by the way. And I'm out in the sun. Too much sun is dangerous. The way you know you've had too much sun is this. You touch your skin and it feels warm, or it turns slightly pink. That's enough for the day. What you want to do is cover up. If you go down to the islands, the Caribbean islands, okay, or anywhere along near the equator, the locals aren't slathering on sunscreen. No, what do? They cover up. Big baggy white shirts, big baggy pants, hats. They're protecting themselves from the sun instead of covering it up with chemicals, because there's a lot of sunscreens out there that can be very dangerous. They actually can cause cancer. They're carcinogenic when interact with the sun. So cover up, be like the locals, be like the natives, get out of the sun when you can, okay? About 10, 15, 20 minutes a day is good. Another thing I see people do, they drink a lot of water. They don't wash their water bottle. Run it through the dishwasher. Get heat in there. Heat kills viruses, germs, and bacteria. So if you're drinking water, definitely do that. Now, if it's a thin bottle, let's say it's one of those bottles you bought, like bottled water, and you squeeze it and it creaks, I don't like those because the plastic can break off and get into the water. And the plastic is what's called an endocrine disruptor. It actually can mess with your hormones. So if you're going to drink water, I recommend you get like a stainless steel container, a glass container, a very thick plastic container, and wash it. And make sure you wash it well. Don't scrub it, because you could scratch it if it's plastic, but glass and metal is really going to be your best choice. And so I use stainless steel containers when I drink water and tea usually. So if you have to drink a bottled water, it's not the end of the world, but I recommend a water filter. I have a water filter in my house. It's a North Georgia Water Pure Water. PureWaterGA.com.
Pure Life Water GA.
Pure Life Water GA. That's Garrett's voice, my producer there. Pure Life Water GA is the water filter I have at my house. They're not cheap, but it filters every drop of water in my house. Shower, bath, washing my clothes, washing dishes, toilet water. Water sitting there, if it has chlorine in it, is releasing chlorine gas into the air. So that's a mistake that a lot of healthy people make is they drink, toxic water, chlorinated water, water that's been in a plastic bottle, that's been in the sun. So I want you to drink water, but I want you to drink a good pure water as well. And so that's the one I use. If you just tell them I sent you, maybe they'll give you a little extra, niceness. I don't know. If you're taking medication, again, healthy people can take medication. If you're taking medication, make sure you check for interactions. Because you may go to one doctor for your heart, one doctor for your colon, and one doctor for your headaches, and they all give you medications, but there can be an interaction. So what I want you to do is talk to your pharmacist. Pharmacist, I'm taking all these drugs. Is there an interaction? And if there is, one of the doctors may be able to change the prescription. Follow us on social media. This is your homework assignment. Do it right now at Dr. Joe Esposito, Facebook and Instagram. And join us on Facebook. Our special group is called the Joe-It-Alls, Joe-It-Alls. I want you there too. So, folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Tell your friends about the show, drjoe.com. Catch you next time. Thanks for listening to For the Health Fit. Remember to subscribe to this podcast, and I'll help you naturally get well and stay well. You can also listen to and call into my radio show live Sunday evenings from 7 to 9 Eastern Time on WSBRadio.com and on a WSB Radio app.